Good morning, dear students. Well, today I am going to detail the poem Fire and Ice. The name of the poet is Robert Frost. So, dear children, I have already given a brief description of Robert Frost in the previous video. So, dear children, you might have studied the poem The Road Not Taken in your previous class 9. The road not taken has a metaphorical meaning. It means the road was compared to the choices we make in our life. In the same way, the poem which we are going to study, Fire and Ice, has a metaphorical meaning. It means fire and ice are compared to something. Do you know, children, what are fire and ice compared to? See, both have opposite meaning. Both the components are compared with self-destroying human emotions, desire and hatred. Yes, children, ice has a metaphorical meaning. Fire and ice are compared to the human feelings. I have said self-destroying human emotion. What are our human emotion? What are our human feelings? Our feelings are different. Our feelings are of anger. Our feelings are of dislike. Our feelings are of hatred. Our feelings are of many more. So, the poet has used the poem Fire and Ice to give a metaphorical meaning. Fire and ice are compared to something. If we compare something to like a simile, as black as coal, as sweet as honey, so that is simile. But if you compare without using as and like, that is metaphor. So fire and ice are compared to our human feelings of desire and hatred. Fire is compared to desire and ice is compared to hatred. Here we can imagine desire, that is fire, to be something like greed. Number one, greed. Number two, conflict, that is any argument. Number three, fury, that is violent anger. Cruelty, lust, lust means a strong desire for anything. And avarice, avarice means extreme greed. In the same way, we can also imagine eyes to insensitivity. Insensitivity meaning lack of concern or response for others' feeling. Number two, coldness. Here coldness means the quality of lacking affection or warmth of feeling. Next is intolerance, that is unwillingness to accept views, beliefs or behavior that differ from one's own. Next is indifference. Indifference means lack of interest, concern or sympathy. And last is rigidity. Now, dear children, I would also like to tell you about global warming. Before we start this poem, I would like to tell you about global warming. Children, you might have studied in science or social science what is global warming. That is the rapid increase in temperature through burning and breathing, or even the decrease in temperature. Both will have harmful effects, and that will be all the end of the world. If there will be rapid increase in temperature, all the icy regions will start melting and the entire land mass would disappear, causing to the end of the world. If there is decrease in temperature also, the entire water bodies will become ice, and that too will cause the end of the world. So in the same way, the rapid increase and then a decrease of temperature, like which the poem we are going to learn, that is fire, here desire. The poet has used this fire and desire to human emotions, to human feelings, that human beings are responsible, they are self-destroying all the emotions. Human beings are responsible to cause the complete end of the world. Therefore, the poet focuses our self-destroying human feelings, human emotions that are responsible to cause the end of the world. I hope till now you have understood, students. Now we will start the poem. First, let's see in the first stanza. In the first stanza, the poet has taken the idea of two groups. You can see in the first line, some say the world will end in fire, and in the second line, some say in ice. So, the poet has taken the idea of two groups who have their own possible explanation, opinion, notion, idea, views for the end of the world. As some people think that the natural elements of fire will cause the destruction of the world, whereas others believe that ice will be the cause of the end. Now the question is, which one is more destructive, fire or ice? So, putting in terms of human emotions, the element of fire stands for passion, desire and love. Therefore, the poet points out that humans will be the agents of our own destruction, either in one way or another. The question is, who is responsible to cause the end of entire world? According to the poet, humans will be the agents of our own destruction. The poet also shares his experiences, and he is originally associating with fiery desire. You can see in the third line, from what I have tasted of desire. The poet has tasted, the poet has experienced, the poet himself is associating with desire, fiery desires that bring human beings on the verge, on the margin of destruction. Perhaps he has chosen fire as of representative of desire because of the war we fight with each other when we want things the other has. Look children, the poet is in favor of fiery desires. You know why? Perhaps he has chosen fire because fire is a representative of desire. Because of the war, people fight each other, whatever or whenever we want things the other people have. That's first stanza over. Now moving to the second stanza, see the first line. The poet says that if the earth was to end twice. See children, meaning of perish, that is die. Meaning of perish, that is die. So he says that if the earth was to end twice, that is 2 times, ice would be just as good as fire. So in the beginning, dear children, I told you that which one would be more destructive, fire or ice? And the poet himself associated, and he has tasted, he has experienced the fiery desires will be more destructive. But if we come to the second stanza, we come to know that ice would be equally destructive as fire. If fire would lead to rapid destruction, fast destruction, then ice would lead to silent damage. The poet has experienced both these emotions. It doesn't matter how the world will end. Even hate born out of cold and icy reason is sufficient to cause destruction and the end of the world. You can see in the last line the word is given suffice. Suffice means sufficient. So just now I told even hate. See, ice is compared to hatred. So even ice, even hatred born out of cold and icy reason is also suffice, is also sufficient to cause destruction and the end of the world. So children, what do you infer from this poem? Both fire and ice are equally destructive. Thus, the poem very artistically underpins the philosophy that we let our emotions, our feelings of anger, hatred, love, dislike, fury, insensitivity, etc., rule us, and if we don't control them, they will surely bring us all over on the verge of chaos. On the verge of chaos, chaos, chaos means destruction. We will be at the end of destruction. So children, the poem is over. Now children, in the next video, part 2 of Fire and Ice, I would be detailing the poetic devices, theme, message and all the textual question answers of your book. Till then, thank you children. Bye.